In the beginning, sea and sand, wind and tide, rain and growth combined to create a deep row of dunes. The coastline of the Netherlands, the first line of defense against the sea. Behind the dunes, the biggest delta in Europe is still a shallow tidal sea. To the east is higher wooded ground. Here man has lived since the Stone Age. These early inhabitants live by hunting and fishing. Over several thousand years, the rivers bring down quantities of fertile silt. And every incoming tide brings a layer of marine clay. Although the sea level is rising, the land rises faster still. Helped by plants which form a layer of peat, the delta builds out steadily towards the dunes. Far to the north, the melting ice cap affects the level of land and sea. Around 2000 BC, new tribes discover the new land and settle down in blissful ignorance of the ice cap. As the ice cap melts, the sea rises, and dwellings are flooded with relentless regularity. The early settlers come up with the answer. They call it a terp, the first man-made defense against the sea. The terps are linked by dikes. The dikes are made of clay and they enclose land. Polder land. A sluice shuts against the sea, but opens at low tide to drain the land. When the rain has freed the soil from salt, the polder becomes fertile. To safeguard their land, the people build a high sea dike. Where the coast is unprotected, the sea reclaims its own. By the end of the 13th century, inlets had become lakes, and lakes had become the Zuider Zee, the greatest single loss of land in the history of Holland. Amsterdam, Rotterdam, Zaandam, Schiedam, Volendam, Edam, Monnikendam prevent further inroads by the sea. Dike work is a matter for the monasteries, until the dike reeve assumes responsibility. Dikes are strengthened by seaweed secured by stakes. Later, wooden pile dikes are constructed. The watch on the dike is a cold, wet job, and some dike reeves prefer the warmth of the tavern. Peat for the fire is conveniently obtained from the foreshore. This unwise and forbidden practice undermined the dikes. In any dealing with the sea, the price of neglect is disaster. The 17th century is the age of the millwright. Early mills had to be headed into the wind. This limited their size and the amount of water they could raise. Now comes a revolutionary idea. The top of the mill turns. The rest stays put. Even the biggest mill can only reach a certain depth. Then a second mill is built. And a third. The millway makes it possible to reclaim polders far below sea level. The Great Lakes of North Holland, the Beemster, Perma, Wormer, and Skirma become rich farmland. The money is supplied by the merchants of Amsterdam, who are prepared to invest the wealth gained in trading with the Orient. Great prosperity is threatened by another invasion, this time a formidable enemy, the pileworm. Wood is replaced by stone. Stone is scarce, so grass is grown on top. Willow mattresses are laid below to prevent erosion. The merchant ships grow bigger and the sea lanes are silting up. Troubles never come singly. Behind Amsterdam, the Haarlemmer Lake grows and threatens the city. Too much water for safety, not enough for trade, until the engineer steps in. Steam power replaces wind and sail. The Haarlemmer Lake surrenders at last and yields fertile soil. Steam dredgers clear the way for steam ships. As the ships grow bigger, the new waterways grow deeper. But they let in an old enemy, salt. The machine age brings the first great attack on the sea. The Zuiderzee Dam is built in the open sea. The crucial point is the closure point. Here, willow mattresses protect the seabed from the scouring tides. An army of skilled men operates steam-powered dredgers and draglines. A battle fleet to overcome the power of the sea. Modern sluices drain off the water and the salt. New polders can be reclaimed behind the dam. The counterattack has been successful in the north, but the south remains a delta and a threat. The delta plan is to dam up the great estuaries. Here, traditional methods are no match for the strength of the current, which increases under pressure. A caisson can withstand the current. A stronger mattress protects the seabed. The problem is how to control the current. The solution, once found, is simplicity itself. The current flows harmlessly through the caisson until all are lined up. The channel is closed, the dike can be finished. At Herringfleet, main outlet for the waters and ice of the Rhine, a ring dike is made in midstream. The site is drained, leaving the current to flow on either side. The water can escape through the sluice complex. It is under control. The Delta Plan will complete the work started in the Zuider Zee. Sea and salt will be thrust out of the heart of the Netherlands. The coastline will be shorter and easier to defend. The Delta Plan will bring new life to the old towns of Zeeland. New sources of fresh water, new space for an industrial age. New pleasure grounds for a growing people. The Delta Plan is a great task, worthy of a great heritage.